All right, what's good? What's good? Right now, I'm looking at gold real quick. I'm on a 4 hour time frame, and I'm gonna work my way down to the lower time frame for an entry, for a setup, and then an entry. So right here, you can see we've had the market to do some dropping, going down, and then it started to retrace. Gave us a nice high right here. Gave us a higher low, broke to the upside right here. Now we would have been bullish since Wednesday, and then once it did that, it retraced back down to this area of interest right here. Cool, bounced off that, made another high right here earlier this morning, going into that London session. And so I have these areas of interest at these other pivot points, these turning points in the market right here. So we got 50.85, we got 50.53 right here. Now, granted, I do look at these zones as caution areas. It doesn't always mean that it's going to reverse, but it does mean that you should start looking for certain signs. Certain signs, maybe a reversal setup is appearing, or if it breaks through like it did right here, it still may give a setup, but it may go down to a previous zone, right? So that's kind of what I've seen right there. I knew I was bullish, so all I had to do was ideally just go down to a lower time frame, like the let's check out the 5 minute first. I just needed to find a setup, and then I could take an entry if it gave me an entry. Well, if I could take an entry if it gave me a setup. And so right here, this is 7:30. Let me get this right here. So right here, this is 7:30. Right, I did get a setup right here, which is perfectly fine. But the only problem with this is this setup came at 7:30, and I don't take trades before 9 a.m. So, and I say it's a setup because I had a high, I had a low, had a lower high followed by a lower low. Then it created a new high, which is a breaker structure to the upside. Gave us a nice retracement back down to this zone right here. Cool, nice little fair value gap imbalance right there. Came over and supported that where the support was held and respected. The next counter gave us a nice rejection, so 735 to 740. I would have got in right here around 50.29, but again, like I said, that's before 9 a.m., so that's not a trade or a setup I'm willing to take. So we get all the way over here. It does run up to this zone, and it shoots down. This is 8:30 to 8:55, 9 a.m. Cool. It shoots down. Like I said, I'm still bullish on the 4 hour time frame, so I'm looking to take long positions. I didn't see anything here. Even though it shot down, I didn't see anything. So high, low, lower high, higher low right here, and it didn't break this until around 9:40. That's actually use this one here, 9:45, and so this would still be valid if I did this right here. Use this pivot point, put that area of interest right there. I got an order block, I got an imbalance, and then boom, it came back down to test that. This would have been fine to take an entry as well, but I did not do that. I went down to, I believe, the 2 minute or the one, and let's move this over here. That's my entry. Let's go down to the 1 minute. I believe I took this on a 1 minute time frame, which I did. So 1 minute time frame, I got a low, I got a high, I got a higher low right here, I got another high. It's just kind of like a lower high, and then I got a higher low, and then it broke to the upside right there at 9:15. Next candle came back down, but it just steadily decided to stay above that high point right there. So cool, got a nice indication. I got a correction back down to this area of interest from this pivot. And then I said, well, okay, that was a nice place to take an entry, but I wasn't quite yet at my computer just then to take this trade. I seen it over here once it took off a little bit, and so 9:37, 9:38, I was in this trade. I put my stop loss below this low, just a couple pips below it. Cool, around the 5,003.5. And my take profit is up here at 51.05, and so I am in profit right now. It did go above that blue zone. It went up here, it came back down to test that zone, and we kinda on our way. Let's see. So the highest point we had about 40 pips right there. That's cool, and we kind of floating around that same area, so we are in profit. It's just taking some time to get up there, and actually I've moved my stop loss to break even already once I get to the halfway mark of this trade. So once it got right here, I move my stop loss to break even. So this is a risk-free trade. And interestingly enough, what's happened is this is also giving me another chance to another setup to get into this position. It's Friday, so I would not get into it, but this is what I have. I have another high, I have a low, a lower high, followed by a higher low right there, and then boom, it broke to the upside, giving us a new high. And so once it comes back down, what do I have? I have a pivot point right here, an imbalance, and so I'm gonna just draw that over, boom, change that to the 1 minute. And right as soon as it rejected this, it rejected it twice, and then it finally moved away at 12:36. I could have waited for that right there to get in. I could put my stop loss either of these lows down here, maybe a couple pips below it, and maybe at this point only shoot for like a 1 to 2 because it's already inside of a move already. But that's my analysis and my breakdown for gold. Again, like I said, it's Friday, it's February 20th, and we'll see what the market does in the next 2 hours.